Today we live in a world of chaos, and I am so frustrated. It's hard for me to get work done. There's upheaval in the social world, in our politics, and in economics. It feels like the foundations of civilization are crumbling around us. And we're just standing there watching it like a train wreck, not doing what we need to do. What do we need to do? People are social. We're meant to be interacting. We're meant to be sharing. Sharing not incredibly complex and technical things, but sort of everyday life things. We're meant to be sharing traditions and skills, passions, stories, especially to those closest to us. We can't be distracted by the seemingly chaos around us. We have to do what is actually fun and great, and we can think it's so simple that we don't need to do it. We can take it for granted, but we can't do that. We really, really must dig in and share. And we don't realize how much impact those things can have in the future. I was reminded of this recently. My wife asked me where I got the passion for sailing small boats. And I've been enjoying and sailing small boats for more than 35 years. Back when I was in high school, a friend, he said, hey, come out this weekend and we'll go sailing on the family's small boat. And I had never sailed before, hadn't even thought about sailing. It wasn't something that we did in our family, and I never knew anybody with that kind of equipment or whatever. So I really, really enjoyed that and spent a couple of summers enjoying sailing on a couple of their different sailboats. Had a lot of fun. It's been a passion with me ever since. I've owned like almost a dozen small boats, built small boats, enjoyed them throughout this time, and continued to share that with my family, with my wife, with other friends. It's something that I've enjoyed ever since then. I hadn't really even thought about where that kernel of an idea came from until I was asked that question. We don't understand just what a little thing can do as it moves out into the future. My father was given a Civil War musket, a family heirloom, early on in his life. And that got him interested in muzzle-loading rifles. And he started attending some events. And then he saw a need in that community for particular items, and he started a business. That business turns into Townsends. Almost 50 years later, a family business with 30 employees, and here I am doing videos because of that little thing way back in the past. YouTube channel's been here for more than a decade with like 1,000 videos and watched by millions of people. It's mind-boggling how something tiny like that turns into something just huge as it moves into the future. It's so important for us to share these things. And what about skills? Simple skills, vehicle maintenance, or repairing things around the house, or building structures, whatever that is. I remember as a child watching my father, watching my brother fix cars and motorcycles and tractors. And they said, come along and help us. You can hand me wrenches, whatever, right? And that's something I learned watching that happen. They shared that with me, and I watched that being done. And now I have absolutely no fear of doing any sort of maintenance on a vehicle, even very large maintenance items. You want to take a motor out? Okay, we can do that. I've watched that happen. They shared that with me, and now I continue to share that into the future with other people. Yes, of course you can change your oil. Let's do it. Come on out. We have to share those even sort of simple skills. And sometimes they're they're not so simple things that should be shared into the future, but are lost. So we have the example of skills that are in the past that have been basically lost completely. And we have to do a lot of work now if we want to recover those skills of the past. Peter Goebel talks about coppersmithing and how no one wrote down those coppersmith secrets in the 18th and 19th century. They were passed on in sort of a trade secret to apprentices. And when that started to fall out of favor, then those skills, they weren't published, they weren't talked about, and they weren't handed down as a family heirloom. And so they're gone, they're disappeared. There's no way to recover some of those secrets because they weren't shared. We can't let our traditions, our skills, our passions get lost like that. And, some things are easy to pass along and easy for us. Everyone enjoys food, and everyone probably has certain family recipes and food traditions. Those we really need to be careful to pass along, and pass along early to children so that they understand their connectedness, not just a connection with their parents, but a connection with their parents' parents and back 3 and 4 and 5 generations. Those kinds of traditions connect us farther and farther back. Those are very, very important. Not just as this is a good food for you to eat, but it's our very identity. So when we're sharing a recipe or we're sharing a skill or passion, we're sharing and connecting our identities together. And we cannot do without that. It's a scary world we live in right now with the chaos and upheaval. And we have to have connections that we can fall back on and understand. And we understand ourselves and the people around us by sharing those traditions, passions, skills, family stories, whatever they are. It's so important for us to share. We do have great and wonderful tools like YouTube and social media to share, but we share with those and they're very sort of anonymous and disconnected. There's so many layers between us as we share those things. Yeah, it's an incredibly important tool, and it's sort of makes it easy to share things, but it's the person-to-person sharing, face-to-face sharing. Those are the ones that are cemented deep and really the best and tightest bonds between us. I charge you to go out and specifically do these things on purpose. We can't just share these things by accident. We have to purposefully go out and share these things. Maybe they're simple, small things. Maybe they're big skills, whatever they are. But we need to share them and keep passing on the baton and not drop it and let it fall to the ground. So go out and share them with family members, whoever you can, and cement those bonds and keep these traditions going. Thank you so much for being here on the channel today, listening to me sort of rant today, because it's just so important, and I have to remind myself of it all the time. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching, and thank you all for all your incredible support.